So I found my very first Bible that I got and back in high school from a Young Life camp. And I realized as I read the inscription on the inside cover that this week it was 30 years to the day exactly of when I made the most significant, most important, biggest, best decision of my entire life. And that was to begin a relationship with Jesus and follow him. Now, did I continue to follow him? Not so much for many, many years. And, if you've been around here for a while, you've heard my testimony and you've heard me talk about how I turned away for a very long time from my faith, but how I can always see God's hand on my life going through all the valleys, all the mountaintops, everything in between, just a giant roller coaster of life. And so, one of the things that was so incredible is as I was reading this note, so it was my Young Life leader, if you're not familiar with that, it's, a high school ministry and maybe even college too, but I was not involved in college. That's part of the problem. um, but I was involved in Young Life all throughout high school, and I went to summer camp every single year. And at this one, this was the first time that I stood up and invited Jesus in to my heart, gave him my life, had said the salvation prayer and was saved. And, I was 14 years old, almost 15. It was the summer I was turning 15, July of 1994. And my leader, wrote this note saying, "Welcome to God's family, a decision you'll never regret. And I'll keep you in my prayers." It was a lovely note. And I looked down underneath where she signed her name, and she had written two scriptures, one of which is the exact same scripture that now 30 years later is tattooed on my left wrist. Romans 8:28. And we know God works all things together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. And that's me. And that's you. That's all of us. We all have his purpose, and we are all called to fulfill it, in so many different ways, so many different callings, so many different assignments and areas, and whether that's in your family, in a career, in a business, in a ministry, in a church, in a community, all of the above. I think at some point we kind of wear all those hats throughout our lives. And this was just so powerful to go back through this Bible that I got 30 years ago and just see God at work, but also the enemy at work.